Joining us right now. Hello, Mikel.
Hello.
Great win for you. What did you make of the overall performance? Let's start with that.
Well, very happy, obviously, scoring 3 goals, keeping the clean sheet and winning the game. Extremely happy. We started the game very well. The first half, it should have been 3 or 4 at least, and then we could have put the game to bed. We didn't. And in the Champions League, we're going to have difficult moments, and we had, for a period of time, probably longer than expected because we weren't precise enough, we didn't adjust the press well enough, and we suffered. But then with the second goal, I felt the game was in control, and happy to have the 3 points.
There was so much focus on goals from set pieces. You almost didn't need that today. How pleasing is it to see the way that you scored in different ways from open play as well? Yeah,
it's very good, especially because they were very different goals, the 3 of them, and that's what we want. From every phase of play, be a threat. As I said, we could have scored many more in open play, as you call it. For me, it's not open play, but set pieces. It's all part of the game. But anyway, very
fatigued.
No.
Monaco were playing really well, passing it. Minamino came on, and they were quite busy in that midfield. So how important was that to make those changes?
Yeah, we have to, especially with Miles. Well, first of all, a word for him, 18 years old, to make his debut in the Champions League. Yeah. It's a great highlight of the game. And then, yeah, as you mentioned, we have some issues. They put 6 players inside, only the fullbacks giving the width. They have a lot of rotation. It's difficult to manage that. But I think the subs help us. It gives us energy, gives us a little bit more of a structure with the ball and without the ball. And everybody's important. Every 2 days, it's impossible to maintain the same players.
Just Lewis Skelly there as well, just to talk to you about the way that he played, the way he punched that ball through for the first goal. That's coming right out of the academy now, isn't it? Seeing the youngsters prepared to pass that ball and make something happen with it.
Yeah, I think what I like about him is his courage. The position that he takes, how he penetrates with the ball. He's one of our own, and he's 18 years old. He has a bright future ahead of us, and he's great. As a manager, as a club, I think we have to be very pleased to see those young players coming through, because it's a nice feeling to be able to help somebody change his life.
I bet it is.
Mikel, it must seem really boring speaking about Bukayo Saka, and he must also seem pretty old compared to Lewis Skelly there, you mentioned, but like, it must be an absolute joy to work with him. I know everyone asks you about him, but seriously.
No, it looks really mature, as you said. As he says, what he's already done in the game is incredible. I think his goal involvement in the season on 21 matches, I think it's 20 goals or something ridiculous like this. But that's him. Very humble, a great guy to have around the place, and incredible talent.
Yeah. He's a great role model, isn't he, as well, for that pathway to get young kids into the team, because he doesn't get ahead of himself. He's so humble. And he just keeps producing.
It's a special person. Yeah. Again, it's great to have around the team. I think in his role, his leadership is increasing. With the young kids, he's amazing. With the senior, he's amazing. He's loved by everybody, you can tell that. And then when he's on that pitch, he's making the difference for us.
Yeah. All right, Mikel. Well, look, congratulations. 3rd in the table at the moment. Your old team again at the weekend in the Premier League. Good luck with that, and congratulations for tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mikel Arteta, the Arsenal boss. Take care. See you very soon. He must be delighted, as he said there. Talking about all the young players that are coming through too, because he was saying it must be so satisfying, especially with the length of time now that Mikel Arteta has been the manager of Arsenal, and he gets to see these young players from the training ground, growing up, and then coming onto the pitch and having a Champions League start and really influencing the game as well. You don't get that often, do you?
Now, do you know, he's followed them. He's been at the club now a number of years, and he's sort of like seen them come through the youth academy, earmarked people, work with them on the training pitch, and now he sees the fruit of that work is when they actually go and have a performance like tonight. An inverted fullback, you've got Kieran Tierney sitting on the bench, so he has to impress, he has to justify that selection, and I thought he more than did that. And you just sense the manager there is like, well, okay, this production line, there's a history of young players coming through here, and having done that myself, I think it counts. When they've got the blood of the club running through their veins, you just love it that little bit more, extra special. And then when they're doing it on the pitch, I think we're seeing that with Saka.
Yeah.
He's the fan on the pitch, and boy, does he play to a really high level.
And the fans absolutely love it. There's nothing better than an academy product coming through and doing well, so we'll keep a very close eye on them, on both of them, in fact. Look, January is going to be an interesting month for Mikel Arteta, but even before Christmas, as we didn't mention there, Everton is the next game that they've got to play. Gabriel hopefully is going to be back in the side soon. You can see the rest of the fixtures on the screen now. Where do you think Arsenal are placed at the moment in the Premier League? They did miss an opportunity against Fulham, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, but I think if you hear the narrative, just hanging around the group until January and then have an assessment after the Christmas period, because you're right, they've had a few injuries, but I think they've worked well with it, and the Fulham was a bit of a blip for them. But if you looked at the 5 previous games, scored 16, another 3 tonight, they're in a good position and they're starting to get some of their players back, hopefully. But they're in the quarter-final of the League Cup, and they got Man United to play in January as well, in the FA Cup as well, so some big games coming up, but I'm pretty comfortable with where they are at the moment.
Do you think in the next window, I'm going to ask you the question that we've been asking for a very long time, do you think if there was a position they need to strengthen, it is that centre-forward position?
Well, this is the question, isn't it? We talk about Havertz and Jesus. They need to score more goals. They need to be more ruthless. There is no doubt about that. But last year they scored a whole lot of goals. I think they could do with that different tool in the box. That player that maybe can find an opening out of nothing. We're just going to have a little look here at Jesus again. Look, he makes a good run. I think there's an awful lot of pace on that. You couldn't really criticise him. I think this one here is this is what I'm talking about. Enjoying this moment. You think of someone like an Ian Wright there. They press a button of calmness. And they enjoy that moment of just finding the bottom corner, and he didn't there.
How hard is it, Martin, to get that confidence, though, when you're not getting regular starts?
It's difficult. I think tonight, if you were to give the manager a real problem, if he puts both of those away at the weekend, and it just reinforces that, in the Champions League, he has got good numbers. We talked about 24 goals coming into this game. He's come with a lot of experience. He's offered a lot to the group. But on the pitch, he wants to get his goals. And he's playing a part. There's no doubt he's playing a part. But Arsenal need that prolific goal scorer to put these opportunities away. Another one flashing across the goal there.
This is where he's got to make the dart and run, though, Martin.
Yeah.
I think you're on about. You've got to sniff these opportunities out, dart, get across.
Just
got
a bit
tap
earlier.
In.
Yeah, just a bit earlier. Break your neck, get in there, get on the end of things. And that's where you sniff out those chances.
Vlahovic was a player that was linked with Arsenal a little while ago. He scored against Manchester City tonight. We'll discuss Man City before we come off air. Is a striker a position that you would strengthen if you were back at this club, Garrett?
Either left wing or centre forward. I think, I look back at it, obviously City was so dominant in the Premier League and the only team to stop them was Liverpool, and they had Mane and Salah. You can't have just Bukayo on his own, and I think Kai offers you saw what he did tonight. It's either got to be a left winger or that centre forward, and I think for me, seeing now that balance, I wouldn't mind trying a real solid left winger. There's a lot of players, a lot of teams are going to be after that centre forward role, but I think getting a balance more on the left side actually might be an option for Arsenal.
There's still plenty of games though between now and January for these guys to prove that they're the ones that are there now at the club. The desire's there, and he's going to keep pushing. And he's going to, make sure he wants to be best in all areas, not just set pieces. He wants to pass. He wants to create opportunities. They press so well. I think Ødegaard not being there has really gone against them from a creativity point of view. So you could argue the front players haven't had the best player on the pitch, but now he's there. So there's no excuses now. We've got to start putting these chances away.
They're one player away.
Yeah.
For me, literally one player away. So, you're so close.
Yeah.
Go and get them.
So close to a complete team, which is what City have been for a number of years. One win now in 10 games, another loss to them tonight, this time in the Champions League against Juventus. Vlahovic and Weston McKennie getting the goals there, 2-0 in the end against Manchester City. I feel like each week we kind of ask the question of what's happening to City. Is this become a confidence thing, a mentality thing? What do you think it is?
It proves they're human. We thought at one stage these guys were incredible. Their consistency, the way they played, they've fallen off a cliff. And it's remarkable for us to watch it, to experience it. But only they can get out of it now. It's when you lose games you really find out about the people around you. It's great when you're winning. One after another championship. Now they're going to find out, who those real winners are. And every game now looks really difficult for them, doesn't it? The Champions League, everything's really tough. They're in a big hole at the moment.
They are all smiles, Laura. Guys, massive congratulations. Let's get straight to that first goal because you were both involved, Bukayo. The entire team went straight over to Miles after you scored the goal. What did you say to him?
I just said to him, like I said to him before the game, that this is his level. He needs to have no doubts and play with the confidence. What he's doing, we see it in training. So, yeah, I was pleased with him and he was a big part of the first goal.
Miles, a very special night for you. Talk us through the goal because that was a brilliant pass into Jesus.
Well, I saw the ball getting switched over from Martin. I saw I was getting pressed, so I just thought, keep calm, take the ball away from him. And I saw Gabby peeling off. and then I paid through, and then Bukayo, great timing for the finish, man. He's always there, so yeah, can't complain, yeah.
The nines, Miles. This is such a great night for you, a special night that you'll always remember. You made your senior debut this season, but your first Champions League start tonight. How proud are you of yourself?
Yeah, I'm proud of myself, you know. I believe in myself, but I've come a long way, and I just want to thank everyone for giving me the opportunity, and hopefully it's the first of many, and I push on from here.
You've seen this guy grow up now as well, Bukayo. I'm making you sound old, aren't I, next to him? But how bright is his future?
It's very bright. He just needs to keep the same head that he's got. His mentality is top. He's always asking questions, looking to learn. So I'm so proud of him. Yeah.
How inspirational is it for you as well, Miles, that you've got a player like Bukayo in this team that's come through the academy just like you? Does that give you the motivation and the belief that you can go on and be a big player for this club too?
Yeah, of course, definitely. You know, looking up to Bukayo, he has everything, you know, so just a mindset that, you know, I've learned a lot from him, and I want to keep learning from him, so yeah, definitely.
Bukayo, 2 goals tonight, almost your first Arsenal hat-trick. Did Kai just get in the way?
Yeah, he just about got, he got in the way of it, but don't worry, it's coming, it's on the way.
Guys, congratulations, well done tonight.
Mikel Arteta's side have taken a significant step towards the knockout rounds of the Champions League following a stunning performance from Bukayo Saka. This is rapidly turning into Bukayo Saka's most important season for Arsenal. 2 more goals for Arsenal's No-7 saw off Monaco and pushed Mikel Arteta's men towards a top 8 finish in the Champions League. And while all the talk has been about Arsenal's injury list, the one player who they really would be lost without is Saka. And this time they did not even need a set piece. It was a night when Arsenal missed chance after chance, they were sloppy at times, and their final ball was so often misplaced. But when you are looking for ruthlessness, then Saka is Arsenal's guarantee. The England winger is so efficient, his decision-making is world-class and is also Arsenal's jewel in the crown. While Mo Salah is Liverpool's go-to man, Cole Palmer is Chelsea's great entertainer, Saka is just the humble, down-to-earth superstar who has kept Arsenal's season going. Where would they be without his goals and assists? Completely out of it. Martin Odegaard was a huge miss during his injury absence, and they have had a patched-up defence for much of the season. But Saka is just so consistent and reliable. Not only did he get 2 goals, but it was his shot deflected in off a combination of Kai Havertz and Monaco captain Thilo Kehrer to really put a shine on the scoreline. Arsenal are now up to 3rd in the new-look format. A top 8 finish means teams miss a playoff and go straight into the last 16, which will ease fixture congestion, and Saka truly deserves his place on the big stage. Arsenal were so wasteful early on. And it was poor Gabriel Jesus who could not find the net, as he has not scored in the Premier League since January, and his only goal this season came in the Carabao Cup at Preston. Jesus' first big chance came from Jakub Kiwior's long ball over the top. The Arsenal No-9 raced through and only had the Monaco keeper to beat, but Radoslaw Majecki made a super save with his outstretched right foot. The second chance came after 28 minutes following good work by Gabriel Martinelli to set Jesus away again. This time, Monaco keeper Majecki denied Jesus not once, but twice, as he made a save at full stretch and then bravely blocked the rebound. You were beginning to wonder where the goal would come from, and then Jesus showed even if he cannot score, then he can turn provider. Miles Lewis-Skelly, making his first start in the Champions League, did excellent work in the build-up, then Jesus put over a low cross which was turned in by Saka. You could sense the relief in the stadium, and then Arsenal should have had more. Martin Odegaard went through only to fire wide. Martinelli missed another gilt-edged chance. Arsenal should have been out of sight by half-time. But they allowed Monaco back into the contest, and striker Breel Embolo should have equalised, only for him to fire just wide with a shot on the turn. But Monaco ended up being the architects of their own downfall. They made an awful mix-up between Kehrer, keeper Majecki and Mohamed Salisu, and, with substitute Havertz bearing down, the ball fell to Saka. The England winger then curled a perfect shot into the far corner to show his teammates exactly how it is done. Saka was also involved in the third. Leandro Trossard put over a cross. Saka's shot was deflected towards goal by Havertz, with the final touch appearing to come off Kehrer. Bukayo Saka's double fired Arsenal a step closer to the Champions League last 16, as the England forward inspired a 3-0 win against Monaco on Wednesday. Saka netted late in each half and Kai Havertz struck in the closing minutes at the Emirates Stadium to lift Mikel Arteta's side into third place in the revamped league phase. The Gunners have won 4 of their 6 European games this term and, with 2 matches remaining, they control their destiny in the race for the top 8 finish that guarantees automatic progress to the last 16. Clubs that finish 9th to 24th in the 36-team first phase face a playoff to determine if they will advance. With games against Dinamo Zagreb and Girona to come in January, the North Londoners will be confident of avoiding that unwanted obstacle. After a damaging 1-1 draw against Fulham in the Premier League last weekend, Arsenal's 5th win in their last 6 games in all competitions was a welcome tonic. With Arsenal's defensive injury crisis showing no signs of abating, Gabriel Magalhaes, Ben White, Ricardo Calafiori, Oleksandr Zinchenko and Takahiro Tomiyasu were all absent. That meant Ghana midfielder Thomas Partey started out of position at right back despite missing training on Tuesday. Miles Lewis-Skelly, 18, came in at left back for just his second Arsenal start, with his other coming in the League Cup against third-tier Bolton. The youngest player to start a Champions League match for Arsenal since Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain in 2011, Lewis-Skelly rose to the occasion with a composed display. In contrast, Gabriel Jesus has gone 32 games without a goal for Arsenal and the Brazilian's lack of confidence was clear in the host's first dangerous attack. Picked out by Gabriel Martinelli's pass, Jesus should have hit the target but could only muster a tame shot straight at Monaco keeper Radoslaw Majecki. Jesus failed to time his run well enough to reach Mikel Merino's teasing cross moments later. Soccer sparkles, Alexander Golovin nearly caught out Arsenal keeper David Raya with a long-range strike that fizzed just past the far post. Jesus' travail showed no signs of ending as a raking long pass sent him clean through for a low shot that was too close to Majecki. The 27-year-old was having a torrid time and, teed up by Martinelli, again he couldn't beat Majecki with a close-range effort that drew a fine save from the keeper. But Jesus' clever movement was at least causing Monaco problems, and he played a key role in Arsenal's 34th-minute opener. Lewis-Skelly slipped a superb pass to Jesus, who ran in behind the Monaco defence and delivered a low cross that presented Saka with a simple tap-in for his 4th goal in his last 6 games. Martin Odegaard squandered a golden opportunity to double Arsenal's lead just before half-time as he robbed Sungutu Magassa but fired wide with only Majecki to beat. Thilo Kehrer should have made Arsenal pay for their profligacy early in the second half, but his header flashed wide from 10 yards. Arteta's men lost concentration for a long period after the break and Takumi Minamino tested Raya before Breel Embolo drilled inches wide following sloppy defending from William Saliba. But Arsenal emerged unscathed and wrapped up the points in the 78th minute. Majecki didn't clear his lines quickly enough when Havertz put the keeper under pressure, allowing Saka to steer his shot into the empty net from close range. There was still time for Arsenal to put further gloss on the scoreline in the 88th minute as Havertz turned in Saka's shot. Now up to third in the new-look format, a top-8 finish means teams miss a playoff and go straight into the last 16, which will ease fixture congestion, and Saka truly deserves his place on the big stage. Arsenal were so wasteful early on. And it was poor Gabriel Jesus who could not find the net as he has not scored in the Premier League since January and his only goal this season came in the Carabao Cup at Preston. Jesus' first big chance came from Jakub Kiwior's long ball over the top. The Arsenal No-9 raced through and only had the Monaco keeper to beat, but Radoslaw Majecki made a super save with his outstretched right foot. The second chance came after 28 minutes following good work by Gabriel Martinelli to set Jesus away again. This time, Monaco keeper Majecki denied Jesus not once but twice as he made a save at full stretch and then bravely blocked the rebound. You were beginning to wonder where the goal would come from, and then Jesus showed even if he cannot score then he can turn provider. Miles Lewis-Skelly, making his first start in the Champions League, did excellent work in the build-up, then Jesus put over a low cross which was turned in by Saka. You could sense the relief in the stadium and then Arsenal should have had more. Martin Odegaard went through only to fire wide. Martinelli missed another gilt-edged chance. Arsenal should have been out of sight.